Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up this screen. All right, folks, I'm going to answer the question. We're going to talk about, will Nico be ready if needed? But we're going to talk about Joe Milton, Nico, and we're going to talk about an elite QB that's been predicted to commit to the Vols. And we're going to talk all about the QB situation because let's just face it, it's the number one most important position in football, and there's not a close second. There just isn't. The quarterback touches the ball every single offensive play. And if he plays well, like Hendon Hooker played, you're probably going to win the ball game. And you're probably going to pull off some upsets. If your QB plays poorly, you're going to lose ball games you should never lose. I mean, you can look at Clemson last year with the ukulele guy. You know, he played poorly a couple of times, and it cost them 2 games they should have never lost. So let's get into this. Now, Joe Milton is the starting quarterback in my mind. I don't see really any way that he's not, barring an injury. Now, here's the thing about playing football, and especially in the SEC. You're one play away if you're the backup quarterback, and all of a sudden you're going in front of 102,000 people, say it's Florida, and you're going into the swamp, and you're all of a sudden the starting quarterback because Joe Milton sprained his ankle. You know, he might have sprained it in practice, and he's out for 2 to 4 weeks or whatever. Well, you've got to be ready to go in one of the worst environments to play football in imaginable. And so I know Josh Heupel is sat down with him, and they're grinding and trying to get him ready to be a starter in the SEC. They're trying to get him to put on weight. My understanding, he's put on about 10 to 15 pounds. They want him to put on another 10 pounds because he is skinny. And again, if you're playing the SEC, you'd better be ready to go. So I'm sure they're wearing him out. I mean, they've got to be just putting everything on him. And understand he's been there since the bowl game, so he's going to have 9 months under his belt to get ready. Because remember, Tavon Jackson left. Okay, he went to Indiana, and he would have been a redshirt freshman, had a year under his belt to learn the system. You know, Nico is just learning the system. And it's not, you know, some super simple little anybody can do it, okay? It may have looked that way because Hendon Hooker made it look easy, but that's because he was a really smart guy that had been playing college football for a long time and was able to pick it up very quickly, and very talented athlete as well. So, you know, we're actually very fortunate that we have Joe Milton sitting there, you know, a couple of years under his belt in this system and ready to go. And he performed really well in the Clemson game under intense pressure. So I think we can feel really good about him as a starter as long as, you know, there's no injury. So there's really 3 ways this can go. Number 1, Joe starts out like he almost certainly will, plays really well, plays the whole year. Nico's the backup. Gaston Moore's your backup to him. And we really don't have any real issues.
Check, please.
I hope that happens. We're going to need some luck because, you know, he's going to get hit. You know, understand Joe Milton's going to get hit. Now, he's a big dude, 245 pounds, and built like a tank. But, you know, it just takes a sprained ankle. It takes a thumb hitting a helmet on a throw, and all of a sudden you're out for a while. So getting Nico up to snuff is very important. And then on top of that, you need Gaston Moore ready to go, because now you're 2 sprained ankles away from Gaston Moore going into wherever, the swamp, or going to Alabama, and he's the starting quarterback. And they're going to pin their ears back on somebody that's not comfortable and go after them with everything they got. And then you're talking about the crowd noise. Look, we're going to have a couple of really tough ball games in tough environments, one being the swamp and the other one being Alabama. And those are going to be very difficult. And we really need Joe Milton in both of those games, in my opinion. It's going to be really tough for a true freshman, I don't care how many stars you got, or a Gaston Moore who's really a walk-on, to handle that kind of pressure. So, you know, unless he's the next Stetson Bennett, and there's not been many of those, you know, we need Joe to be healthy. But here's what I do know. If you don't prepare just in case, that's when crap happens. Also, a couple days ago, we did a story on Jayden Davis, and he's going to make his decision March 31st, a 5-star quarterback out of North Carolina, and he's got Tennessee in his top 5, and he loves Josh Heupel, and he's got great relationship with Halsley, and I think he'd love to be a Vol, but I'm wondering if a 5-star is going to be able to come in here with Nico sitting there. You know, there is going to be that concern in his mind. And the other guy that's very high on the Vols, Jake Merklinger, not that easy to say. It's easier than Nico's last name, though. He has been projected, crystal ball, as a 2024 commit, and he's been projected by Steve Wiltfong. And Wiltfong is one of the very best when it comes to these crystal balls. He has it on very good authority, in my mind, that this kid wants to come and be a Vol. I think that's, normally when he gets a crystal ball or puts a crystal ball out there, it's like 75, 80% of the time he winds up committing. So I'm assuming he's going to wait and see what happens March 31st with Jayden Davis. If Davis commits, that changes the whole situation. Because I highly doubt a high 4-star is going to commit along with a 5-star for 2024 with Nico sitting there. Merklinger may be thinking to himself, hey, you know what? Nico will probably be the starter my freshman year. I redshirt, gives me a full year to get ready and learn this system. And then, I'm a redshirt freshman. I'm still the backup. I'm ready to go if anything happens. And then he's probably thinking Nico's going to leave early, and then I could take over. But, there's going to be other really good quarterbacks in there too, but they're probably going to be younger than him, or they're going to be some transfer guy. And look, anywhere you go, if you're going to play for a really good team, especially a team like the Vols, which has a vaunted offense that anybody would want to play on, you're going to be competing against the best. That's just the way it is, because a lot of kids are wanting to come to Miramar, which is what I call Knoxville now, because of Josh Heupel.
The elite, best of the best. We'll make it better.
That's right. He'll make you better. So I'm pretty fired up about this. I told you a couple days ago I thought he was the most likely to commit to the Vols because it made more sense. But, we'll see what happens March 31st. So this is a pretty quick video, and don't anybody take it that I'm saying, oh, Nico needs to start. I don't think that really at all. I don't think he's necessarily your best option when you've got a guy that's been playing football for 5 years in Joe Milton and really showed out in the Clemson game. So I'm very comfortable with him starting. It's just a matter of, look, you need to have a quality backup that can go in under the most intense environment imaginable, which is the SEC. Look, if he wanted it easy, he would have stayed out west. Okay, he'd have played for California or UCLA or something like that, or he would have gone and played in the ACC. No, he wants to, match himself up against the very best in the world, and that's what you get when you play in the SEC. Well, guess what? It's pressure packed. It's absolutely as brutal as you can imagine, and they're going to be coming at him with everything they got, and he needs to be ready just in case Joe is, like I said, has a hangnail or something. And I have not forgotten about Navy Schuler either. I know he came from Appy State, and, he might end up being a quality player as well. Is he another Stetson Bennett? Well, again, I'm always bringing up Stetson Bennett because the guy was a walk-on. And now he's going into the NFL, and he's got 2 national titles. So, look, you never know. But I would want my backup as ready as can be. And with Tavon Jackson gone, Nico needs to be the man right behind the other man. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's be able to continue to cover the Vols and all the goings-ons. And if you've not subscribed, it's right here on the left. Be sure to hit that little button right there. Cost you nothing. Would help me out. I'd appreciate it. And right over here is my most recent video. Be sure to check that out. And we will see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.